As is the norm in the world of sport, it was another busy weekend for sporting action, ranging from the off-the-field issues to matters on the field of play. SABC News senior sport reporter Thando Mxoli joins us now to talk through some of the issues. Thando, good afternoon. What are you wearing?
Clothes.
What's this?
Clothes. No, it's just showing respect to...
What's that logo?
It's showing respect
What's
to...
going on there?
Showing respect to one of the most successful club in South African football, the Nedbank Cup champions. And yeah, it's off-season, so I think there are no alliances in the off-season.
Okay. Now, I'm just allowing you to explain yourself, okay? So that people are not confused.
It's a brand that doesn't need explaining, unfortunately.
Let's start with issues related to football.
Sure.
The SAFA Congress was taking place. Ordinary meeting, is it?
Yeah.
Not Congress as such.
Yeah.
But much hype went into it. And I remember thinking it always starts like this with a lot of hype. You are here to report on what happened. What eventually transpired?
So basically, it was a long day for the journalists who had to cover that. Ultimately, what transpired from it was that SAFA acknowledged, for example, that there was a bit of a payment issue with Banyana, but it has been solved. Players have been brought into confidence and conversations are happening to resolve that. This stems from the warm-up fixtures leading up to the WAFCON tournament that's about to start in Morocco. So at least that is a work in progress and something that I think everyone is trying to solve as quickly as possible. Going into this meeting, there was murmurs that there'd be a vote of no confidence against the current president, Danny Jordan. One thing about him, he's very popular with the 52 regions that make up the SAFA executive and everything. So it's one of those, if you're going to bring a motion of no confidence against him, you need to have more than just your ducks in a row. So unfortunately, I think that probably fell flat. But at least if for those who don't want him there, at least people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Also, I think more than anything else, there will come a time where people need to look at SAFA and South African football without the familiar figures that we've seen over the years. The court case that Dr. Jordan is currently involved in, that was also something that was of interest. But again, it did not affect matters and proceedings there. SAFA basically committed to Parliament that they have a turnaround strategy. They're going to try get funding into the association and make sure that a lot of things, for example, some of the monies that they borrowed from the Department of Sport, that in the long term affects things like development. As that money is not borrowed, it's an advanced payment.
Yes.
So all of those things...
It will be offset against your next payment, yeah.
Yes. So at least those things are being talked about, and hopefully things will be done to fix those issues with SAFA.
Well, he always reminds us, Danny Jordan, that I get elected by regions of SAFA. So if you guys are saying I must go at some point, talk to the regions, not to me.
Yeah, the regions sometimes must talk to the people that are in need. But again, it's a process. Just like in politics, people have the power to choose. And if we want change in our football, the regions will unfortunately have to...
Okay, let's move swiftly then, Thando. The great team called Chelsea Football Club of London are through to the quarterfinals of the FIFA Club World Cup. Let's talk that action as well as what to expect coming up next.
Yes, very convincing victory. It was another unique game whereby there was a long delay because of weather conditions. So you play the game and then they'll tell you there's lightning 10 kilometers away. And even though you look up into the sky, it's clear you need to stop for the safety of the players and those involved in a match. But again, Chelsea went through and got an important victory against a very good Benfica team. That said, though, this Chelsea team has not been as sharp as I thought they'd be.
I agree.
For me, it's a second season, and I thought those players have matured. But if you look back at the successful teams, especially at Chelsea, the average age is about 25, 26. This one is still hovering around 23, 24.
So let's call up then the fixtures for this Club World Cup, because now it's getting into the knockout phases. Looking at that board, what do you see and what do you make of it? Big
one tonight, PSG versus Inter Miami, Messi versus his former team. Again, there's a lot of relationships there. For example, Luis Enrique will know about Messi, Sergio Busquets, Luis Suarez. He coached them at Barcelona. Again, Flamengo versus Bayern Munich. Those are two teams who have actually shown a lot of promise in this tournament. They've played great football. Inter Miami versus Fluminense. Again, it's
Inter Milan.
Inter
Get your
Milan.
Inters right, okay?
Inter Milan, the Italian Giants versus Fluminense, Brazilian Giants. Listen, these are two very good teams that are very competent, almost very organized in their play. Man City versus Al Hilal. I think Man City are finding their feet. They're playing a lot better than they started. But we'll see how that goes. But I still believe Man City will probably walk away with that. Real Madrid versus Juventus.
That's a big one.
That's a very big one. Also, for me, Real Madrid under Alonso, different team. They're not as fluid as they were under Carlo Ancelotti. But look, we've seen what Xabi Alonso has done, both as a player and as a coach. We'll see how he takes all that knowledge and takes it forward. And again, Dortmund versus Monterrey from Mexico. Interesting fixture. Both teams are also very entertaining when going forward, but defensively they can be found wanting.
All right. Thando, thank you for your insights once again coming through into studio. That's Thando Mxoli there, giving you a sense of what to expect in the coming days in the world of sport.